I think, in my opinion, and the way we've looked at it particularly, is everything comes down to performance. You can work anywhere in the world you like, as long as the job gets done. And that's what matters at the end of the day. Let's jump straight into it. The people consultancy of choice. Yeah. Tell me all about TalkStaff.
So yeah, TalkStaff, we are a people consultancy. It was a conscious decision from our point of view to call ourselves a people consultancy because, as I'm sure we'll get into, people are 360 degrees part of your business. That age-old phrase of if you bring people into your business and you develop them and you retain them, and naturally you will then grow. They're in everywhere. I often use a phrase that people are our most important asset. Might have an argument with some accountants that might be listening, but their assets might not be on your balance sheet. I think there's an argument there to say they should be. But yeah, we started in 2009 on the back of working in, myself and my co-director David Orange. We worked within some huge businesses, international businesses, recruitment focused, and we realised that a business and growth of businesses were not just about recruiting people, but about that 360 degree approach to staffing. And we have grown quite considerably. 12 years this year, 2021. We have we've seen a lot. We've reflected. We've seen where clients need help and support, and now we have some really key parts of our business that are now support functions, right through from recruitment, payroll, HR support, all of those really important day-to-day areas that you need help within. And we've really pushed and expanded into more consultancy-focused work through coaching, working with clients on their people strategies and seeing where they're going in the future. Because hey, if we're going to drive up the road for 10 years and we don't know how we're going to get there, then is that a really good idea? So we help form those ideas with companies, typically those that are looking at exit. We'll work with those to build a senior management team, look at engagement, all of those really important things at exit, but also just those that want to grow. So I suppose in summary, the best way to describe us is if you go to an accountancy firm or you go to a solicitor's firm, you're going to them for their expertise around finance or around legal, and there might be a number of different areas that they support. For us, TalkStaff might not be an accountancy firm or a legal firm or a people firm, and we support you amongst all of those areas as you're growing your business.
The people specialists.
People specialists. Yeah, there's been lots of phrases over the years.
What are most companies that you sort of, maybe you don't work with them and maybe that's a reason, but what are businesses typically doing wrong when they're looking at how they manage their people or treat their people?
I think I'm going straight to the word old-fashioned. I think that's the problem. So companies that we're not working with, I'd love to be able to work with these companies. So I know one at the moment that just isn't embracing remote working. There are lots of companies that are just saying, well, it's back to normal now, get in the office. I don't want you to work from home. If you've got experience and any problems, then you need to, I'll pick you up and I'll bring you in if you can't get into work. You need to be in work, end of, back to normal now, tough.
Well, first of all, congratulations on 12 years. I mean, that is no small feat for any business. And I think when you look at it from the perspective of you started in a recession, no business wants to go through a recession, let alone start in one. And I think when it comes to, the kind of things that you guys do, from recruitment to the HR to the payroll side of things, it's possibly the best business to start in a recession because there's such a low barrier to entry, because those already in that business ultimately are suffering. So you quite possibly started at the best possible moment, but what you've built in that time period has been fantastic. And, it's a name and a brand that a lot of people recognize and know now. And to build up a brand like that is very, very difficult to do so, especially in something so tricky as recruitment and people operations, right?
So for the benefit of people that don't know us then, so my background was recruitment, and that's where we started the business. And actually, for the first 12 months, we were a recruitment business. That's what we did. But then we realized, and it's funny, I looked back at is it archive.org, and looked back at our website back in the day, and we talked about a 360-degree approach to staffing. That is people consultancy. It's a 360-degree approach to people. It's that full people life cycle from start. I was going to say from start to finish. Obviously, some people finish with you, but the journey goes on as you're growing.
But one of the things that we picked up on and we did super early on was we replaced our normal Friday drinks with virtual Friday drinks on Teams. And one of the things that we found was there were certain individuals that missed that interaction so much that we'd start virtual Friday drinks at 4 p.m. and I could log back on at 11 p.m. midnight and find 2 or 3 people still hanging around and having that, that conversation, that interaction, because they just miss being with people.
Different types of conversations at 11 o'clock, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't spend much time on those conversations, I'll tell you that much. But one of the things that I think is very, very important is people's mental well-being, mental health. It's getting talked about more now, but it was never really a topic of conversation, even just a handful of years ago. I've been very open in my conversations on podcasts and even with my team, that I suffered with mental health problems for many, many years, depression primarily. And I've sat in here and had hour, 2 hour, 3 hour long meetings with individuals just talking about where they're at, what's going on in their lives, how can they feel better? Is that something that you've had to contend with as your team have sort of gone remote?
Yeah, personally as well as a team as well, actually. So we've, without getting into the details for them, but I've had a few difficult conversations with people that needed just that support. I mean, I was like you, I suppose it's growing a business. You experience that burnout ultimately somewhere along the line through growth of businesses when it's on your shoulders that you've got to make sure that not only your own mortgage is paid, but the business is successful and the people that work for you can buy food and pay their own mortgage. So we have these things haunt us as we're growing businesses anyway. So I've been able to put that into helping other people, which is absolutely my superhero cape. That I know what it's like. I get it. I really do. The team has struggled with it. I've got to say they've been amazing. I can't speak highly of them enough. Having spoken to them during that time when I was struggling, especially in the early days. I mean, I went into panic thinking, okay, are we going to have a business in a couple of months? Or, am I going to be able to pay my mortgage in a matter of months? Yeah, I had to put a brave face on it. I probably could have, personally, I felt as though I could have supported the team a little bit better, but then here you go, we're always our own biggest critic.
Yeah, I think everybody's definition of success is very different. By all accounts, I've been very successful throughout my career. But I think one of the things that I like to talk about with people is don't compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 33, right? And understand what success means to you. Don't absorb somebody else's definition of success. I have friends that own airplanes. I have friends that own, incredible things. And I can't look at that and say that is my definition of success. That is their definition. My definition is doing A, B, and C that matters to me. My definition of success is being a great father. My definition of success is being a great family man. My definition of success is building a great organization where people have fun and enjoy coming to work. Anything else that comes as a byproduct of that, money and toys and those types of things, they're fantastic as well, but that can't be the pure definition. And I think part of what you were talking about there links back to something you said earlier about Glassdoor as well. When you're trying to tell the employee's story and also the employer's story, one of the things that we see on the likes of Glassdoor is a real mishmash of what is accurate and true versus what is a disgruntled employee. Now, thankfully, our Glassdoor is clean and I'm very very happy about that. But there are certainly organizations here locally that we've seen, and they get absolutely stung on Glassdoor by ex-employees. How would you, from a people consultancy business, take that? Would you look at a Glassdoor profile of a business and go, that is clearly a bad business, or that is clearly a business that's had a lot of negative feedback for some other reason? How would someone differentiate that?
Good. Really good question, and actually really relevant right now. So we have one of our clients, again, it came from the recruitment team, that they were regularly recruiting people into their business. Those people weren't staying through no fault of our own, and which for the frustration of their own HR teams, who we've got an amazing working relationship, and they get it, they know what's going on, and they spoke to us about looking at their engagement for their employees, because they know that their culture is wrong at the moment. It's working against the growth of their business is being really stunted by it, and they are successful. They're a very successful, quite large business, which you'd be surprised by. And I think so. The average, so we have an account manager. We have a relationship with Glassdoor. Great team, great people to get involved in. We do work on it. It's projects that we do is Glassdoor. We don't just do a Glassdoor project, but it certainly goes bigger than that. So the average across their site, I believe, is something like 3.2, 3.4, and this employer that I'm talking about was 2.2. So that, when I see at that level, that's exciting for me, because I can go and I can do something about it. But what that is, it's a reflection of their culture within their business. When it's at that level, you'll get disgruntled employees. I'm sure we've got a few, because we've made mistakes over time. I'm real, I'm honest, potentially too honest. I would make an apology to those people if they have had a bad experience with us. Certainly we've learned from it, and that's why we are what we are today. It's unfortunate that obviously we have casualties as we grow businesses, and every business will be in the same, but those of us that admit it and then learn from it are the better out of the bunch, and certainly would hope.